Consumer advocates slammed Illinois utilities Wednesday for charging ratepayers millions in hidden expenses that benefit companies, not customers. Brian McDaniel of the Citizens Utility Board, alongside 350 Chicago and AARP Illinois, delivered thousands of petitions supporting the Utility Transparency Act, which would stop utilities from passing the cost of many business expenses like advertising and shareholder insurance for rate hikes onto consumers. A Cub analysis shows the bill could save Illinoisans $40 million a year.
Older adults and working families who are already stretched thin by raising prices should not be forced to pay for expenses that provide them no benefit. The Utility Transparency Act is practical reform that could save Illinois residents money on their utility bills.